still too blind to see we're on the same side, huh?
Not even close. You're on one side of the street, I'm on the other.
The dirty cop, the bomb. If I were you, those are the only things I'd be on the trail of.
This just doesn't make any sense. The man I fell in love with would never hurt anyone. Did he visit any places that struck you as odd? Tell you he was going somewhere new? No, that's the problem. He didn't tell me anything. Anybody you didn't recognize come to see him? No? Strange emails, conversations you may have overheard that didn't make any sense? No, but I did wake up a few times in the middle of the night and catch him on some website. He said he was catching up an inventory, but if he wasn't working, he would call a name on the site. I didn't see a name, but there was this weird symbol. A megaphone with a giant S on it.
The site is called Squawkus. It's an ultra-secure messaging platform catering to alt-rights who want to fly under the radar, founded by a guy named Cody Beeman.
College dropout, pretends to be some kind of libertarian icon, but it's a front. He's desperate to cash in. He's looking for investors to fund him to an IPO.
So Elias's presence like on the site?
A bunch of posts in the last few weeks alone, dozens of DMs, but I can't access the server.
Elias and his crew are planning an attack. DMs, we got to get in.
The whole point of Squawkus is its secrecy. You know, there are layers and layers of encryption.
Okay, so how much time do you need?
The morning is tonight? Too much.
Hey, well, Beeman wants money, huh? If we can't hack in, we can get invited in. Now, you want to take a meeting?
So, you're a vigilante, right?
Yes, ma'am. CSU confirmed evidence of bond-making material.
Who owns the garage?
Triborough Storage. Took a 6-month cash advance from a guy with a baseball cap and a fake ID. Video's too low grade to ID any of them. The dead quote is from our supply room. Couple had access to it.
Hi there, Rich.
You got the radio playing somewhere.
All sorted. Hello, Rich. How are you doing, man?
Good, thanks. How was it yours, Anthony? Okay.
Fast.
It's okay, Doc. Hello, Brayden.
I thought that's some kind of educational thing, Doc.
It's just to get us in the mood. I mean, come now. I'm in the mood now. And as you know, Rich said, you either want to be comfortable or successful. So everybody on the call so far are successful beings. Absolutely.
Absolutely. That's good. Jane, were you the only one that heard the cuckoo?
Hi, Rich. Rian here. Thanks for the great program, eh?
The what program? Sorry, what was that?
No, for the great success program.
Okay, yeah, perfect.
I'm Afrikaans, né? So I translate from Afrikaans. So.
Okay, no, that's fine. What was it in Afrikaans?
No, in English you won't say more. What do you will say course or what? You won't say program. You will say the success formula course.
No, your program wouldn't be incorrect. So yeah.
Yeah, that's what I said. Yeah.
Perfect.
But I must tell you, Doc Anth will know my story a bit, but the summit and everything with MyWealth, it's changing people's lives. My life is changing, and it's not money that's changing. So it's not about money; it's about mindset.
Yes, absolutely. That's fantastic.
So thank you.
Pleasure.
Thank you.
Well done. So did some people actually decide to take off today because it was a public holiday? One wonders.
Good evening, everybody.
Hello, Leon. How's it going?
Nah, life is a song. Sometimes a joyful song, sometimes a sad song. But sing, we will sing.
That's good. I'm sure you were busy today with S12J.
No.
No. Oh. Was it a holiday for you?
No.
Oh, okay. All right.
Things to do and places to go.
Okay. What
However,
you busy or what?
I secured 2 valuable appointments for Friday.
Oh,
for
fantastic. Well
yes.
done. Well done.
Watch the space.
Wonderful. We'll be watching.
Yes. Looking forward to tonight.
Good.
How's weather in Italy? Summer approaching?
No, it's hot already. I tell you, we've had the average day so far has been over 30 for the last week or two. Well, especially this week. So the aircon's running full time, and it's really hot. It's very muggy, as they say in English. You know, that sort of almost humid heat type of thing. So yeah, summer's definitely here with vengeance.
Like the coast in Durban, always humid and sticky and so on.
Yeah, it's fortunately not quite that bad because we're a little bit inland, but it's that sort of heat, but not as humid as that. So it's quite.
Rich, I cannot help not to ask. Have you seen part of the Giro d'Italia?
No, but a friend of mine. A friend of mine went to watch it when it was, because it wasn't far from us. It was about 50 k's away. He didn't tell me he was going to watch. Otherwise, I would have gone to watch, definitely. But I missed it. With COVID and all of those things, it's also been difficult. But things are relaxing a little bit now, and it should be a bit more easier. We're just waiting to see what's happening with Switzerland and if we can go into Switzerland. But we haven't been cleared yet for Switzerland. So the people who work there can go, but as far as tourists go, we're not sure about Switzerland yet.
And France for the upcoming Tour de France?
No, I don't think we'll be going there. We've got other plans for things. So we won't.
Okay. All right, let me not keep the other people up. You can start if you want to.
No, that's fine. Is Shaw here tonight, or is it just Anthony and Skulk that I see?
I don't know.
Don't see.
Rich, I'm not sure whether Shaw will be in. I saw that at least he did the right thing by taking family time today with his family. I am very proud of him. So I don't know whether he's back or not.
I know Gary and I had a meeting, so does that qualify as family?
I guess that does qualify as family because also see all Gas as fam.
Good. All right. Well,
thanks, Rich.
Thanks, Gary.
There's a bad.
Let's go into share the presentation and let's get started. Great. I assume you can all see the screen. Great. Thanks, Christian. All right. Good evening. Thanks for joining us from wherever you are all over the world. But I suppose we should say thank you to the South Africans that they, even though it's a public holiday, that they're still committed to their success. So that encourages me. Thank you. Tonight, we're just going to look over a few things. And, one of the things that we've always said in the whole mastery session is success is all about you. And last week, we spoke about emotional stability and the fact that you can only learn to swim if you're in water. And also you can only learn to handle emotions when you're in relationships. So, that's the part of you that you'll be developing as we go along week by week. And I'm sure that, those of you who have been sort of committed to the process have seen growth already in yourself and the way that you think of things, because it's all about mind shift change. Our formula for success looks like this so far. Last week we added the relationships and the integrity part of the formula, and we'll be adding a little bit more to the formula this week. Now, there was a very wise man who said the following thing: MyWealth is the system that can make you financially free within 5 years. And then he said you could even do it in 6 months. And I think that's where it starts to challenge your thinking. And as this guy says, that sounds a bit risky. Because what we need to do in life is take a risk. We need to realize that time is not always on our side. And the quicker we get things done and the quicker we make decisions, the less time we would have wasted. But as I always say, the average person that you meet would like to be successfully lazy. What is successfully lazy? Well, it basically means that you've got enough money to do whatever you want and you don't really have to worry, and it almost came to you too easily. So that is not the type of success we're looking for in the MyWealth system, and especially not if you're going to think of yourself as wealthy. I don't think wealthy people are ever successfully lazy. That is kind of the ideal of the person who thinks he can win the lotto or something like that, and that's the idea of successfully lazy. When you realize the responsibility that comes with wealth, you have a different perspective. And I'm hoping that most of the people here already are realizing that different perspective and what it means to actually be wealthy and really successful. Here's an interesting one. Never give up on your dream just because of the time it will take to accomplish it. Time will pass anyway. Earl Nightingale. So many people have a dream, but they don't give themselves enough time. Or they give themselves too much time. As we looked at, if you look at the 6-month principle there that Charles was mentioning, well, you might have given yourself too much time. When you hear that you could achieve something within 5 years, that sounds easy. That sounds nice. Why don't you turn up the screws a bit there, put a bit of pressure on it, see how quickly you can achieve that success, because success builds success. Wealth builds wealth. And, the quicker that you reach a level, the quicker you can go to the next level. So, it's not for everyone. We understand that. So, and no one's putting pressure on you. You decide to do what you decide to do. But don't give yourself too much time. Make sure that you set goals that will limit the amount of time that you have so that you can achieve things that you actually never thought you were capable of achieving. And that's really, what we're trying to achieve here is a mindset change for you to realize that you can achieve things much quicker than it was possible before. You have a whole family here to help you. You have a whole team around you who are all cheering you on so that you can get the success that you're looking for. That's what we're here for. That's what I do this for. That's why I committed to these weeks of this course, to make sure that you are equipped and that you have the right mindset going forward. So tonight we're going to be looking at the following two things, amongst others, time and risk. And you'll notice that as we sort of move along in the weeks, that it becomes more polarized, that there's less definite things, and the principles that we share become a little bit more general and sort of building on what we've learned already. So the next thing actually in the formula is grit. Now, if you might have heard about grit, or grit is on the ground or whatever you think, but if you have ever watched any movies, you'll know that there's actually True Grit. That's John Wayne, the cowboy. So with a one eye. And that's true grit. But we'll have a look at what real grit means and what grit means to our situation tonight. So in the Afrikaans, and as Leon and Rian were mentioning, there's a lot of Afrikaans people, and this was fussbait. And that came, from the old days of being in the Defence Force and those sort of things. The Afrikaans people know what fussbait is there. It's hang in there. Just until, and that's often a question. Until when? Well, until. You hang on until. And you decide when that until is, You don't want to let go. You just want to hang in there. Looking at some of the concepts that we've shared already, and this statement that successful people listen to all the voices, sort them out in terms of their values, and then close the table for further negotiations. There's so many voices around us, so many people that have an opinion. And you've got to realize what is valuable and what is not valuable. Work with the valuable and simply close the negotiations on everything that's not valuable. Some of you might have seen that video that Mike shared about the guy in prison in a wheelchair. And one thing that he mentioned, and it was quite a profound statement, he said, do not believe any prophecy that does not empower you. Just think of that. How much do you listen to that actually has no effect or no empowerment for you? And why are you buying into those things? I don't know if you know the story of the donkey. There was an old donkey that fell into the well. And poor old donkey, he was really deep in the well, and the farmer got his friends around, but no one had a rope long enough to get the donkey. And if it was, the rope just wouldn't have been strong enough to pull poor old donkey out of the well. So the farmer said, well, dear old donkey's quite old now, and it's probably just better that we put him out of his misery and bury him in that well. So what they started to do was throw sand in the well. And every time a spade of sand landed on the donkey, he would shake himself off and he would move. And this would happen and this would happen. And the guys eventually realized that the donkey wasn't giving up. That what the donkey was actually doing was stomping the ground underneath its feet. And each time a spade came in, that ground rose. And eventually the donkey was free of the well. And that's really what we're talking about when we talk about grit and we talk about those sort of things. It's just fussbait. And like the donkey, as old as he was and as decrepit as he was, or whatever situation he was in, he chose not to be buried because, everyone had written him off, but he didn't write himself off. And that's so important. Don't write yourself off. You have so much more potential than people give you credit for. So never forget that. Let's look at grit. And we just always laugh when we think that this is Dr. Anthony to a T. Here is the acronym for grit. G is for growth. The new ideas and the perspective that you get when you actually apply yourself, when you think and you just hang in there, new ideas and perspectives will come to you. The R is for resilience, your ability to bounce back like that donkey. Use adversity to your advantage. The I is for instinct. What is best for you? That is the most important thing. Not, we can learn from others, but ultimately we need to decide what is the best for us. We know what is best for us and which way will work. So decide your way. And the T is for tenacity, the perseverance to never let go. That tenacity, I always think of the bulldog, and the bulldog's designed to never let go. And he just holds on. And if you've never experienced a bulldog, go and play with a bulldog and give him something to put in his mouth, and you'll notice how he just cannot let go. He's designed not to let go. And that's what we need to do. We also design never to let go, because we always have the end in mind. You've just got to remind yourself what that end is. Because if you don't have that end in mind, well, then typically you could let go. But if you know what's waiting for you, you'll never let go. So here's that formula of success. Now you'll see that all of those things add to that grit. And, we've added the relationships, the integrity, as I said earlier, and now to the power of grit. So all of those things become possible because you're able to hold on and never let go. All right, so do what you have to do until you can do what you want to do. So there's the until. And every one of us have got a different definition of the until. It's to never let go, to achieve it until we have achieved what we set out to do. And that until will be forever in our lives. It's not a timeline. It's not a definition. It's not an achievement. It is simply until. And that's what we need to realize. We are in a constant process of change. We are in a constant process of learning. We learn until. And if you had to look at the learning thing, it's basically we learn until we have to unlearn so that we can learn some new things. But it's an ongoing process. Until is never a final thing in our lives. Redeem your time. You cannot manage time. You have no control over it. However, you can waste time, and therefore we need to find ways to use our time effectively. So if we look at the top time wasters, complaining, social media, probably TV should be added here as well. Waiting for inspiration. How many times have you heard people say, I'm just waiting for an idea, or something's going to come my way? Well, does it ever? No. As I've always said, the idea finds you working. The idea finds you persevering, and the ideas come to you. It's that grit part of things which, when you're doing it and you're hanging in there, that's when the inspiration comes. When you're simply trying to be sort of procrastinate, and just putting out what should be done, then you don't find any inspiration. It's not doing anything. Life is fair. It rewards those who are doing something. And whatever you're doing, that's where the inspiration comes. And the fear of failure. I think that's one of the things that hold most people back is the fear of failure. And as we know, and we've learned in the past couple of weeks, John Maxwell says you have to fail forward. You have to actually embrace the fact. You have to fail in a fabulous way. You have to really go out to fail, because that's when you're going to learn the most. Perfectionism is the other thing that wastes time. It's that pursuit of excellence, which is impossible. So, you can really do good work. That good work is going to take you about 80% of your time. Perfectionism is going to waste your time, and it's going to actually cause you to probably spend, well, you could say actually, if you look at it in reality, if you look at the Pareto principle, good work happens in 20%. Perfectionism takes you 80% more time than it would have given you in the good work. So good work's 20%, perfectionism happens 80%, which wastes a lot of time. 80% of your time is a lot of time. Repeating mistakes, not learning from our mistakes is really a time waster. And then comparing yourself, living in the past, not having a goal, and multitasking. Multitasking, if you look at good work and that happening 20% of the time, multitasking is the other 80% wasted, because you're not doing anything good. So you have to keep on doing it. It just wastes time. Here's a question, and if you have the answer to this one, I'd encourage you just to unmute your microphone and give me your idea. How do I have productive days with minimum drama? Who's got an idea? if you're saying something in the chat, I can't see the chat at the moment. So if someone did put something in the chat, please just mention it. Anthony.
Okay, Rich, I'm going to shoot. And that is that if you are focused and you have a goal, you know where you're going, then you'll be productive, minimum drama.
Good. Any other ideas?
Yes, and Rich, I would like to add to Doc Ant's comment. You can have a goal, but you need to execute that goal, because the question is, how do you have productive days? Setting a goal and not achieving it a day, I think it can only remain a goal.
So that sort of bring a lot of drama into your life then.
Hey.
Setting a goal and setting your steps to the goal.
Mm-hmm. So that's the productive side of it. What causes the drama? Any idea?
Influences.
Uh-huh. Anything else? Any other ideas? Do you know any people who have drama in their life all the time? Can you think of people like that? Yes, Stephen.
What I'm thinking of is people with bad relationships always have drama. But if they have good relationships, then there's no drama, because issues are settled and there's a common way forward. That's on the drama side. I do believe on the goals, but that's the drama, yeah.
Yeah, that's the drama. Drama comes from relationships and that sort of thing. You're quite right. Yeah.
Hi, Rich.
Hi, Michelle.
Yeah, I think if you really have to dig deep, I think all of that comes from if you're not secure in your identity, then you're gonna find drama everywhere, because it's just you're trying to look for trouble everywhere you go or see or hear or talk. Everything, you just pulling everything towards yourself, but it's actually because a lot of people are insecure of who they are.
Yeah, I think you've hit the nail on the head there. You know, that people with drama seem to always want to be like involved, or they need to know, or they're insecure. That's really what happens. So thanks for that input, everyone. And here it is. You simply mind your own business. You think of people with drama. They're always involved in everyone's business. They always know everything. And that is a fantastic magnet to just attract more drama to yourself. So, you know, waste your time. Don't get your goals done, because you just don't have time to worry about your goals. You've brought so much drama into your life. So simplify your life and just mind your own business. You don't have to know everything. And there's another thing, you don't have to, you know, show up to every argument you're invited to either, because that's typically what people do. You know, they have to be involved. They have to defend everything. They have to do all of those things, and they just simply bring drama. What a waste of time, and you accomplish nothing, you know. So watch out for those things, and watch out for the people that have a lot of drama in their life. Don't become part of their drama either, because they you know, misery always wants your company, and they would love you to be part of their drama. And yeah, as we mentioned earlier, and Doc Ant mentioned it earlier again, do you want to be comfortable or successful? You know, there's a lot of things that will make you very comfortable, but it'll keep you far away from your success. So, you know, consider that all the time. Let's look at risk. You know, we know that if there's no risk, there's no reward. You know, that's kind of how we realize that things are happening in our life. There has to be risk. You had to stick your neck out somewhere to get something. You know, you had to take a chance. But here's something to ponder. When all of your decisions are based on economics, so economics can be whatever you decide that to be. It could be money. It could be the goals you're trying to achieve. the opinions that you're trying to live up to, etc., etc. There's a lot of things that go into that economy, but you end up with a sameness of vision. And I think that what we've realized through becoming and wanting to be successful, there's a unique you that becomes successful. You can't, as much as we'd like to help so many people become successful, you have to be unique, and you become successful in your uniqueness. And if you are achieving the sameness of vision, and that's that sheeple mentality, really, because it's a safe, you see, most people like to make decisions that are safe. They'll make a decision that will cause them not to be disruptive, so that others won't notice them and they'll never stand up. So it's that sheeple mentality. So then if that is you, then you are not taking risks. You're not pursuing the purpose that you were created for. And actually you're just manufacturing product for the huge vending machine. So there's something to think about. There's not much to that. When you come to think of, there's a lot to it, but there's not much for you in that. There's no originality in there. You're just part of the whole process. So, we try to be different. I think that's our challenge, is to be different and notice what is the same. If you're doing the same as someone else, why are you doing it? Why can't you be different? Try and be different. Try to be more creative. Try smile more. If they smile a lot, try smile more. If they're friendly, try be more friendly. It's those sort of things that actually push us and allow us to pursue the purpose we were created for. So don't just be like everyone else. The risk takers. They approach unfamiliar situations and uncertainty with courage and forethought, and have the independence of spirit to explore new roles, ideas, and strategies. They are brave and articulate and are articulate in defending their beliefs. Remember, we spoke about beliefs earlier on in the series, and that belief is your real belief, not the belief you were handed down to. If it's your real belief, it becomes very easy to defend your belief. And that's not your religion. That's who you are as a person, your values. You're defending your values. That's where your beliefs come in. Right, so here's a final thought. Most dreams die of suicide, not murder. We always like to think that other people steal our dreams. Do they actually? Or do we just kill them ourselves? So, that was my input for this evening. A few things to think about. Let's open the discussion. Let's see what's been happening and how the series has impacted you so far, and what were your thoughts from this evening. Thank you. Right, here we go. Did I miss anything in the chat while I was... Just reading some of the things here. To-do list every night. Skulk, do you want to share that tell us more about that?
Hi, Rich.
Hi, Skulk. Yes, Skulk van Staden. Yes, we can hear you.
How are you doing?
Great, thank you.
This is actually amazing. It's actually something my wife has been doing for a while, that she's really got that commitment to every night. Before we go to sleep, she sits and she writes down what we need to do tomorrow, what needs to be done, what did we have to do today, and, did we do, what didn't we do, why didn't we do it? And it's just like a little bit of almost like a ritual that we, every night, we sit in bed and we do that before we go to sleep. And I must say, it does help a lot, like in the next day, you've got I've got an app that's called Todoist. And on there, you can literally go and I just type in the things that I have to do the next day. And as I do it, I just mark it off. It's been done, it's been done, it's been done. So at least in that way, it feels like you are in control of all the things that needs to be done and have to be done. And in that way, you feel like, okay, I've did what I have to do today. What do I have to do tomorrow? And it's all according to what we're going to our goals. So like, for instance, with MyWealth, I was just now before the call, I was actually sitting and doing like a bit of a possibility diagram, looking and seeing where's everybody at, what do I need to do for this person, how do I help that person. So according to that, we will now sit down tonight and then say, okay, tomorrow I have to do this, my wife has to do that, I have to contact this person, she must contact that one. So in that way, you're looking at what you want to accomplish, and then just do the to-do list the night before that you've got to do tomorrow, and just give us like a little bit, you feel like you're in control all the time. So it's actually my wife's brilliant habit.
I love it. It's fantastic. I think the most important thing there is that you've written down everything you need to do, and your brain can close the day. Otherwise, you go to bed with so many thoughts. So it's a fantastic ritual to have, because you actually, tell yourself you've written down everything. You don't have to worry. You've now, you've made this contract for tomorrow. You don't have to worry while you sleep, and you'll probably find that you sleep much better. So if anyone's having a problem sleeping, it's a fantastic idea.
Yeah, and what I also do with the Todoist, but app, I just have my phone on my table next to me, and every now and again I just look at the list and say, okay, I've got 5 minutes now, what can I do? Which one of the things can I quickly do now? So I do it, and then I can mark it off. And the goal is that before you go home, the 5 or 6 things that I had to do today is then done. And then I also look at those 5 things and decide which of the 3 most important ones. So I try and do those 3 first. It comes out of that book, Eat That Frog, where he says, just do the bad, just eat the frog first, just get the frog out of the way and eat it and get it done. Otherwise, the whole day you are thinking about eating the damn frog, and it never gets done because it's not nice. So I just also try, like when I come in the shower every morning, then I say to myself, okay, this is the 3 things I have to do today first. So as I get into the practice, I literally start looking at which one of those 3 can I do immediately.
Absolutely.
So it really helps.
Fantastic. Thanks, Gog.
Yeah. Pleasure. Thanks, man. Thanks to you. It's an awesome program, Rich. Really, really enjoying it. Thank you so much.
Pleasure. I like that, Eugene. There's no PV in TV.
Yeah, the way I see it also, Rich, is you've got to decide, plan it, do it, and then make it a habit for your days. So you've got to decide what your goal is going to be, decide how you're going to do it, action it, and then just make sure that it becomes a habit in your life.
That's right. Yeah, it's so important. And there's no days off, because a day off is actually an excuse. So if you want to create good habits, there are no days off. Reward yourselves in other ways, but don't reward yourself for the day off. Not from that process that Fernando's just mentioned and what Skalk is saying. Don't give yourself a day off. Reward yourself in other ways. Go buy yourself a cake and a coffee or something like that. Take the family out for lunch. Take them on a picnic. Do whatever. Reward yourself in that way, but don't reward yourself by making an excuse. That's a non-negotiable. And you'll find that in successful people, there are no excuses in successful people. They reward themselves in other ways. So thanks for that. Antoinette, yes, so important. Submitting the day to God before starting your day. And I think that so many people forget the quietness of, you've just woken up. You kind of like know what you need to do, but you also need to quieten your spirit and just get yourself ready for the day. Go on a walk. You can spend time in nature and walking and talking to God and that sort of thing, which just change what you do regularly. So look at your routine and say, this is what I do every day. Now, what am I going to do different? Another 5 minutes is not going to change things, but it will definitely change your attitude towards the day. And so do something for you and with you and God, and just appreciate things around you and start with that attitude of gratitude. You'll find things actually work a lot better in your day. Yep. There are, Michelle, multitasking. It's so unproductive because you're not focused on something. So think about that, try. We know we all have to multitask at times, okay? But it's actually, there's better ways to do things. Try. It's a challenge. It's not a solution, not always a solution. Tanya, I see you've got your hands up.
It's actually Adrian Rich, as always. Yeah, great session. I just want to say that I think from what I'm hearing is success is a conscious decision. It's not something that just happens by chance. It's decisions that we make continuously. It's like committing to these sessions. It's committing to setting goals. It's committing to doing the right things. And Scalp, listening to you, it was just great to hear someone else thinking alike. I have a very extremely organized and forward-thinking wife, and it's decisions that we make. And if I could go back, turn back the clock 30 years, I would have made more deliberate decisions for success. It doesn't happen by chance, and the planning part of it, the committing part of it, is so crucially important, and it takes hard work. None of us are sitting here just because it's a nice experience to see other people. It's part of the commitment, and it's part of really putting our weight into working towards the success of which we have the privilege of being part of MyWealth. Just my 2 cents there.
Thank you. And you mentioned the conscious decision. And just to let you know that next week we'll be looking at consciousness and just the whole approach around it. It's one of my favorite topics, and so I look forward to next week as well. But it's probably one of the keys to our success. And thanks for bringing that up and mentioning those things.
Yeah, absolutely. Just I don't know if you can see behind me, there's a few color boards there. Those are actual conscious decisions that we've made to put up goals and dreams. It's there for us to see, to remind us of our commitment. So yeah, we're taking this very serious, and we believe in the results will come because of the effort that we put in. It's not going to happen by chance.
I look at that board that you've got there, and it's quite amazing. It's very structured. It's like there's even gaps between everything there. Very organized. Different approaches. I think that's what it's all about. And what works for you, find what works for you. Other people will have circles. They'll have things on top of each other. It'll look more like a pegboard. Other people will need it, to have the engineer's approach, and that's amazing. We're all different, and we must all, celebrate the differences. As I said earlier, that's fantastic. Christian, you had your hand up.
Yes, I'm thinking of that grit that you showed there. That it's also a constant, a cognitive decision not to give up. You've decided there's no way you give up. You just carry on. I did the Transbovance a couple of years ago, and it's literally like that. You just doesn't matter how you feel. You pedal and pedal and pedal, and so you carry on. And that is, how can I say, we go through things in life that sometimes challenges us, and you get dexterity out of that. You become stronger, and just to realize it might not be comfortable, it might not be nice all the time, but the thing is, you're experiencing things and you're learning from them, and that's right. Always going to give you that dexterity, that grit.
Absolutely. No, it's important to, if we we've got to look for things that will actually challenge us. Sometimes we look for things that are easy and we know we can accomplish them. And that's great. If you need small wins, that's an excellent way to get small wins. But you actually need to find things that you know are going to be difficult and try those things. That's really what's going to cause you to grow. Otherwise, it's quite simple to find things that we can do easily and we know we're good at. And there's nothing wrong with that. You need those small wins, but do find the things that are going to challenge you, that you know are going to be difficult, that you're going to have to think about. And, you're expanding your thinking, you're expanding your ideas. So it's great. Mike. We can't hear you at the moment, Mike. Mark, we're still not hearing you. Mark, I'm just going to go over to Rion while you try to sort your problem out there. Rion.
What I've learned is that real success is to surround you with people, mentors like yourself, and I think everyone that's part of MyWealth. I didn't have a mentor, and just having this awesome company and all this lectures and all of the seminars that you can attend, and to have a mentor that you pray with every morning and people that think the same as you, it changes you. So I think you must also surround you with successful people or people that want to be successful. Then it also changes you, because you start planning and you start knowing that that every day is special. Because I help here in Vereniging, a company, Meals on Wheels. We in the mornings give people food that doesn't have food and are really struggling. And there's one lady that I was with last week Tuesday, and she was driving with me, and we went to fetch food, and she was not even sick, nothing. The Friday she became sick, the Wednesday she's dead. And that your time can be up like that. So we need to use it and be successful, that we can do what we should do. And that's what this course, I think, are showing to me, and I think for all the others. And we need to use it, be mentors. But if you need to be mentored first, and if you are not happy with yourself, you need to love yourself. And if you love yourself and accept yourself, then you can change, and then you can change others. So I have a mentor, and he's teaching me how to be a mentor to others, and that's what's nice, to make a difference.
Thanks, Rion. Yeah, the mentoring process is so interesting. One thing we need to remember is that it's fantastic, and you're so blessed if you've got a mentor. But if you don't have a mentor, there's so much information that's available. There's so many, things and videos and on YouTube and those sort of things, that you can be mentored by people without knowing them. So if you wanted to, find some successful person, go and watch their videos, learn about them, read their books, those sort of things. That's a mentoring process as well. There might not be any necessarily accountability in that, but that's okay. There is a certain level of mentoring there. And then you could find people with similar ideas that you could then, make accountability partners and share ideas and have mastermind groups and that sort of thing with it. So, I think I used to remember that many people, young guys used to come and say, "Oh, can you mentor me?" And it's almost like, well, yeah, but what are you actually wanting? Because you haven't learned anything yet. So realize that a mentoring process is about learning. Learn as much as you can on your own from however many mentors you can find. So that those can be through all the mediums that I've mentioned, but you realize that mentoring starts with you and accepting yourself and wanting to learn. And then you will find the actual mentors that are going to help you and cause you to grow further. So just a thought there. Sorry, I seem to be doing a lot of talking tonight, so I must apologize. Jane, over to you.
Hey, Rich. We like listening to you. We do.
Oh,
it's always good information. I was sort of going to go back to sort of techniques that we use to use our time wisely. And I think a lot of us certainly have so much going on in our heads that sometimes trying to have a good idea or have a goal just kind of passes us by. And I've been doing a lot of guided meditation. And one of the things it teaches you sometimes is to just let go. Have a thought, yeah, I want to do this, and let it go. So to give an example, I've just moved house. I've got boxes everywhere still. It's a new house, so things don't go where they used to in the old house. So now I look at these boxes and I think, well, I need to move them. I don't know where I'm going to put them. So do you know what? I'm not going to think about it. And I walk past these boxes 3-4 days, and then on the 5th day I go, I know, that's where I'm going to put those things. And because I haven't bothered thinking about it for 3 days, I haven't wasted my time. And I've found that if you just allow yourself to clear your mind, you can actually achieve a lot more rather than spending 3 days thinking about the contents of a box that you can't remember what's in it anyway.
That's very valuable. Thanks, Jane. It's a simplification process as well. You know, so often we try to complicate things instead of just simplifying them. Mike, have you found your microphone yet? Mike? No.
Rich, can I just add value there after what Jane said? I'm just thinking about it. So many people lie in bed at night thinking of what they didn't accomplish from the desk at the office. Here's the kind of truth. You can do nothing about it lying in your bed thinking about it. The only way you can actually do it is by literally taking that 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 action. Get up, go to your desk and go and complete it. But to lie thinking about it in your bed, you're wasting time. There's nothing that you can do about it. Or write it down and do it tomorrow.
Yes. I used to have a cell phone next to my bed, like what Skulk mentioned earlier. And of course, you write down one thing and then you do 6 other things that you shouldn't be doing, you know. So I found the best thing was to leave the cell phone in one place. And I know Gary and I were having a chat earlier, and the biggest waste of time is the cell phone. And you've got to manage that as well. And the easiest way to manage it is put your cell phone down on the desk and leave it there. And then go and do something else. And if you need to come check your messages, well, then you can take a break from what you're doing and come check your messages. But having your cell phone with you at all times is now just as good as multitasking. And you actually, then you're thinking about what someone said on the phone, and you can't get your job done, you know, those sort of things. And then of course, as Anthony mentions, we think about work so much that we go into work earlier to try and accomplish what we're trying to do and what we thought about, and we actually deprive ourselves of sleep because, as Michelle was mentioning in the back there, we don't write these things down. So it's so important to write things down so that you don't waste your time. Otherwise, you've got to get to work and try and think about all the things that you didn't write down, and then you're invariably going to lose 1 or 2 of them. So just write it down, and then you can sleep happily. It's the same process as what Skulk was mentioning in making the to-do list. Write it down. Just save yourself time. Mike, are you with us yet? Mike? Maybe you need to restart and rejoin, Mike. Something like that. Right. Were there any other messages or anyone would like to say anything? I see Mark's there. We haven't heard from Mark for a while. So how's it, Mark? What's your thoughts? And Cameron?
I'm probably the worst to comment on this because I get sidetracked all the time. It's something I have to work on so desperately. So I'm glad this has been brought up because I am the worst procrastinator out there. Start with one thing, get sidetracked onto other things. So yeah, it's something I have to really work on.
So can we hold you accountable, Mark?
You have to. There's no other way of doing it.
Great.
Something.
Yeah, go for it. So,
one of the photographs that I actually thought about when you guys were talking now, it actually says, it asks you a question, do you have a problem in your life? If the answer is yes, the following question is, can you do something about it? If the answer is no, then why worry? If the answer is yes, then why worry? Do you have a problem in life? No, then why worry? At the end of the day, all that you have to try and do is just try and be the best you can in the current situation that you're in. I feel like that's quite a fitting topic to put in there.
Absolutely. Thanks, Cameron. So now we'll wait and we'll see who wants to share.
I see Skulk is very quiet as well. I'm volunteering people as well like you are.
Yeah, that's it. Thanks. I haven't heard from Skulk for a couple of weeks now.
I was procrastinating a little bit, okay? Thanks, Mark.
Sorry about that.
We're here for you.
I don't want to be thrown under the bus by myself.
Yeah, no, you were thrown under the bus. It's my turn now.
Sorry.
Yeah, I'll touch on risk because nobody wants to talk about that. Risk is something that, you know, it's part of life. I mean, we step out of bed and that's already a risk that you can fall and break a leg or something. You know, life is full of risk. But that is so part of the process of living by faith. You know, we don't see what is the next step. It's like we trying to traverse a little, or a path that you want to go up a mountain, but you have a pathway that you're traversing in deep darkness. It's like you have to put the one foot in front of the other, slowly but surely, and traverse your way and negotiate your way up by faith, because you can't see really. I mean, that's the nature of our journey. And what I like about the risk factor in things is that you are going to be tested in the next steps that you take. In every time, you know, every time you do take a risk. Now, most people stand still and camp rather than move forward. And I think that's where I want to challenge people and say, listen, let's take the risk. If there's a risk in front of you, and you have to obviously calculate the risk. You want to stay on the path. You don't want to go off the path and roll down the mountain. It's not going to be a nice experience. So traverse it with caution, making sure that you are staying on the road, on the path of life, and staying in the process. We don't want to get you off of the process, but move forward. You know, even one step at a time, and don't camp. Don't stand still, and because it's dark, because it's risky, you know, don't take, and then not take the step of faith. The step of faith is the most important thing. You know, the Bible says that the just shall live by their faith. And that is what will ultimately make our characters grow. And if we have that grit, we constantly take those steps, those small steps of faith, that will give us the grit that we need to, you know, to establish good character, growth, resilience, instinct. You know what you want, you know where you want to go, but you can't see it yet because it's dark. And then you have to be tenacious about it. You have to stick it up, and don't be scared of failure. Just take that step of faith, because that is what God has actually called us to do, is to live by faith. Stay on this path and keep moving forward. I think as long as we do that, We will always get to our destination within these principles that we've just mentioned. Not wasting time, but take the step of faith. If you are standing in front of decisions today and say, I would rather just leave it and procrastinate like Mark and myself, rather say no. Let's take the step of faith, take action right now, and move forward. That's my 2 cents.
Thanks, Scott.
Well said.
Yeah, very well said.
Gary's been quiet as well. I'm volunteering people tonight.
I wonder what happened to Mike. I see he's can't seem to get back in. Where's Gary?
Yeah, Gary's here. I'm excited to hear what Mike has to say. I'm quite anxious for him to get back on.
Yeah, I wanted to put out a challenge, and I was hoping that Mike would be here as well when I did that, because it's sort of in line with what he does. So, by a show of hands or a yes in the chat box, who's waiting for MyWealth to go live? One hand, a couple of hands. Yep, there we are. Not me. Not me. Michelle, why are you not waiting for MyWealth to go live? Tell us what you're doing. I'm excited to hear that. That's Michelle van Blerk. Michelle?
I'm enjoying the proceeds.
Okay. Oh, right. Okay. Well, thanks for that perspective. Very good. Okay. Fernanda, I see you said no and yes. And Eugene's also thinking like Michelle. Okay. Fernando, what's your thoughts?
I'm looking forward to getting my commissions for my team and getting the positivity from my team. But at the same time, I'm enjoying the proceeds that I'm getting at the moment. So it's 6 of one and half a dozen of the other.
It's a win-win.
Ah. So the people who said that they're happy with their proceeds, are you just investors or have you got a team as well?
Mike, I think that is the key. I'm not waiting for them to go live. It's nice but it's time to build now. This is the time you must use to get your teams going. That's why I do that possibility diagram every night to go through and to see what do I need to do, who do I need to equip, because we can build, we're just not allowed to go out, but we all know people, and people that we know people. So the teams must keep on growing. The more people can join before we actually go live. I mean, day that we go live, it must explode. That's why I'm very happy that they're not going live. I'm comfortable. That's why, and then between us, I've not withdrawn a cent from the system as well, up to date, because I just want everything to compound. I just want that, I want to get to that certain levels that I need to get to, and to do that, you need to know the ranking. You need to know what you need the day we go live to be at a certain place where you want to be. And that's what I'm building at. And that's why I'm very happy that that we're not going live. It's helping me to build teams.
All right. Christian. Skulk, sorry, I'll give you a chance after Christian then.
No, there's definitely, I can say it's a double-sided answer there. Yes and no. I would say the only reason why no is there is a certain customer that would only be interested once everything is settled. But in the same regard, you don't need to sign him up yet. You can already start building the relationship with that person. So there's a lot of work that is ideal for now, that you can already start with. So having that hurdle of no, you have to wait for life. That get rid of that out of your head, because that's gonna cost you a lot of time. That's gonna put you at a space where you you could if you think of where you could have been if you've done everything like it's already live, then you've lost how many months already. So no, it's not. But you don't need to wait for that. And that customers, I mean, there's so much legwork that you can already do for that tenacious person that does not want to have half working systems, that wants to have the forms and stuff. And yeah, that's it.
Good. Thanks for that perspective. Yeah, good. Fernando, did you, you wanted to say something else? I know Skulk also needs to say something.
I was going to say, yeah, one of the reasons why I'm glad not to go live yet is it encourages confidence that things are being done correctly, because if it's been done haphazardly, we could have been live long ago. But the fact that it's taking time and everything is going, it leads to the perception that when we do go live, everything will be perfect. There will be glitches, but it will be perfect, and the risk will be completely mitigated. So that's one of the positive sides that I take out of not going live yet.
Okay, good. Thank you. Skulk, you wanted to mention something. Skulk may not be with us at the moment. Mark, over to you.
I'm going to say the same thing that I've always said. Wealth is accumulated over time, not overnight. And building this MyWealth platform, if we build it overnight, it's not going to be a long-standing thing. So let's build it over time and get it right.
Okay, good. Thanks. Any other perspectives from anyone at the moment?
I see Mike's back on, Rich.
Mike, how's it?
How's it, Rich?
Good. Glad you're back.
Good. So I obviously missed a bit now. But I think what I heard tonight, I think what you said tonight sums up the journey, okay, of the mastermind group so far, and where our thinking has actually moved to. So I think tonight's, the talk that you gave, or the message that you delivered, has sort of summed up the journey for myself, certainly, okay, and what the mastermind group is where I'm at in that way of thinking. And as I understand the letting go of the drama, okay, and some of us need structure, and some of us need more peace, less drama, less lists, less anything, just to absolutely have that peace. And then we dream of the island. And once we've dreamt of the island, okay, we motivate ourselves to go forward because we understand what our goal is down the line. And we get rid of the drama, and the purpose is there, the mission is there. And we just release ourselves of the drama. So yeah, that's certainly my perspective at the moment.
Okay. Well, thanks, Mike.
Thanks, Rich.
Appreciate that. While you were away, I asked a question of the people, are they waiting to go live? And then some people said, no, they're not waiting to go live because they basically are enjoying the proceeds at the moment. And other people are saying, yes, they're waiting to go live. What is your perspective? Mark, you with us?
Yeah, so I'm on my cell phone, so it's got to understand the controls here. Yeah, my perspective is, and I think I'm seeing what Charles is saying now. We go live when we go live. If thinking of the talk last night and the the beautiful new products that have been exposed to us. All right. We need to move on those now because there's such an urgency and there's such a beautiful solution. And going live is fine, but learn MyWealth, understand MyWealth, spend a little bit more time looking at ourselves, the relationship that we have with ourselves mostly and our dreams. Let's prepare ourselves as the leaders to have the right mindset before we go live. Because if we went live tomorrow, I think we wouldn't be ready. Prepare your minds and be at peace with knowing that you are ready to go live. And you're not waiting on MyWealth to go live. You'll know when you're ready and prepare yourself. That's my take.
Thanks, Mark. I sort of think about in a very biblical sense, that fact when everyone was in the upper room and they waited for the unity to arrive. And there could be something very significant in the fact that there's this team of people around us that are actually, we're building this family. Okay, and there's a unity that's coming together. And if you look at what happened there, when the unity arrived and they got the unity, that was when the Holy Spirit was poured out on the people. So if you look at the whole MyWealth process of what's happening and how we, as Mike said, getting ourselves ready to go live. But it's also about the unity that's being created. And when that unity is strong, then we're ready to go live. So, we can often look at the system and say, oh, the system's not ready yet. But as Mike is saying, are we actually ready to go live? Do we have enough unity amongst each other? Is there enough trust in our groups and amongst the leaders so that when we go live, we can go strong? When we started this mastermind process, I thought that we'd be going live within this period of the 10 weeks. Well, now we've got to ask ourselves 8 weeks down the line, are we actually ready yet? And that's the real question that we need to ask now. What do we ourselves still have to do so that we can go live? Besides the fact that there's fantastic products that you can work with right now that are regulated, that are registered, you don't have to wait. But there's something else. There's this whole unity and this whole group that, and those of you who were on the summit would have experienced that. But even though some of us weren't on the summit, we know of the growth that's happened amongst this family of people that come to the Zoom meetings on a Wednesday night and attend other meetings as well. I don't know if Skulk or Anthony would like to sort of maybe comment on that. Maybe I hit the pot completely, miss.
No, Rich, I think you're right, spot on. We are busy building a family, and that's the main idea of first getting coherence within the family, and then getting the system right at the same time. The system is just about, ready for the investors side to go live. We're just waiting for some paperwork and the formalities. But the main thing is to get a movement of people, a core bunch of people together, so that when we go live, there's a lot of things that are already coming to us at a rate that we almost feel overwhelmed. And the preparation that we are in now is to ensure that we've got all the structures right and in place, so that we will be able to jump on every opportunity that comes our way. And that goes for everybody in the organization, the leaders, especially within the MyWealth system. They're going to benefit tremendously and the patience will pay off. That's one thing I can guarantee you guys.
Skulk, I just want to remind you of your own words. It's all about relationships, like you say, virtually every day, and that's why you hit that one out of the park. Skulk can't talk without telling us it is about relationships. And what is very vivid in my mind is that the way that he's passionate about us realizing that as a family, as we continue building these relationships, we will go next level. So yeah, just want to add that in. And no, you hit that out of the park, Rich. I fully agree with Skulk. We are doing what we have to do in terms of our due diligence, and what's about to happen is going to be absolutely massive. But we cannot take the gamble of not knowing that our system is 100% accurate and correct. Therefore, with wisdom, the right steps are taking place. And as you heard Skulk say, we have the right things in place, and it's just a matter of time. We're getting there.
Absolutely. That's fantastic.
You know, Rich, listening to what Mike has to say, one thing that comes to mind is, you read it in a lot of books, is with great power comes great responsibility. And that's, I think, boiling down to, are you ready to go live? Not MyWealth, are you ready?
Yeah. I know that many people don't always, you know, if you were on the call last night, the information that you were given is for some of us, it's quite confusing and it's quite difficult. And what I've asked Mike to do is to run a session for us on Friday night. Sunday night we have, because we've got an S12J meeting tomorrow evening as well, for those of you who know about it. But I've asked Mike to do a basic, an idea of how investments work and how the tax works and how the new product works. And we'll have a lot more information about the new product by Friday night. So I'm going to extend that meeting to everyone for Friday night, so that you can come and understand more about the basics and maybe some basic ideas of how you can share this, the whole platform, and a simple way of sharing what you might look at the spreadsheet and say, that's very complex. What does it actually mean to me? We're going to make it simple. And I've asked Mike to do a presentation of simple ideas. We've actually called it the simple approach to investing. And we're going to simplify things. We're going to help you do simple calculations. I think of something that Gary said earlier, where someone asked Mike about the spreadsheet, and Mike said he was use the calculator and check the thing. We'll actually show you how to use a calculator so that you can check and you can show people simple things. You don't have to have your computer with you to show a person a spreadsheet. You can actually do it with a calculator, and we'll show you that. So Mike, hopefully I haven't overstepped the line and invited too many people. I know it's Gary and Mike's meeting, but yeah, so let's do that. If you are interested, please contact us. We'll share that link. Mike?
No, you're more than welcome. No problem.
All right.
Maybe we get a bit more feedback, so it's great. Yeah.
Okay. So come with your questions. I think that's it. And yeah, we'll work through as many of the scenarios, but we're going to keep them simple so that you can understand the new product, the power of the new product, but also just the basic products like the DS and those type of things as well. We're keeping it simple and making it sort of unofficial as possible so that you can actually learn about the things and have a deeper understanding, because that's what we all need as educators and even investors. You need to understand the products a little more. So if you're only an investor, you're also welcome to come along. It's for everyone. It's not just for the educators or someone like that. Gary, you happy with that?
That's perfect, Rich. I'll share the link on there. Maybe Doc Ann should actually share it on the Dias shareholders. We'll share. It's on our group. And then I don't know. Maybe we put it on the core leadership. I don't know. I don't know what Doc Ant. Maybe you can share it out on the IS shareholders to get it out to the guys that want to join.
Maybe then, I don't know.
Yes, guys, great idea. Just send it to me and we'll get it out.
Doc, I'm just thinking that because now we've extended it to everyone, we're going to probably need the MyWealth Zoom platform to do it on. Otherwise, we won't be able to accommodate enough people.
We can make a plan. I mean, as long as either Skulk or myself are there to host it, we will have a chat about it in the office tomorrow, okay?
All right, that's fine. Otherwise, I mean,
in principle, yes.
Okay. Otherwise, I've got a capability for 100 people, but and it might just go over that.
Yeah, no, we'll handle it. Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Good. Well, if there's anyone else who would like to share something, please feel free to say something. If you hadn't had a chance to give some feedback yet, now's your moment before we close.
Just Rich, thanks for that for Friday, because yesterday, I think 20 minutes into the talk, I started trying to catch up. I was lost after 20 minutes. I've watched the video when I edited it, and I've watched it again to try to get facts so I can talk to people, and I'm still struggling. So yes, Friday would be awesome.
Yeah, I'm with you, Fernando, because after the meeting, Mike sent me a message, said, you understand? I said, no. And what happens in all of these processes, and I think it's very important for us to understand once you get stuck, and once you need to start, when you don't understand something, it's a big word or a big concept that you get stuck on, that's when you disconnect. And then sometimes it's just something small that will need to reconnect you again. But it becomes very difficult if you've missed something or you've got confused halfway. I was completely confused. Came together once Mike explained it to me, but it was difficult, It really was. So, and it's actually, as Mike says, a simple, beautiful product. I can't believe how simple it is. Simplicity often confuses us more than complexity. So we'll just give you the simple. So great. Thank you. All right, everyone. Well, this is going to be fantastic. Thanks for joining us this evening. I look forward to seeing you again on Friday night. I look forward to seeing you next week. We will be touching on consciousness. So it's a big word, lots of ideas could be around there, but certainly one that I'm really looking forward to. So because it's something that actually challenges your thinking, and I know what we're going to be sharing next week is definitely going to challenge your thinking in a very simple way, because that's all it is. Consciousness is quite simple, but it's about the approach that you have to it. So I look forward to that. Anyway, do have a good evening further. See you on Friday night. Those will be joining. Enjoy the rest of the day, and good night. Thank you.
Cheers, guys.
Good night.
Good night. Thank you.
Cheers, everybody.
Excellent session.
Thanks, everyone. Good night. Cheers.
Good night, Mike.